Hello and welcome everyone to Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. I'm PippyInATopHat and thank you everyone so much for joining us for tonight's showcase of Nights into Dreams and the added Christmas Nights by the ever so speedy DreamTora. Now before we go on our dreamy adventure through the skies with Tora, a reminder to all of our ladies or lady adjacents in gaming that Attract Mode applications for January are still open, but maybe not for very much longer. So we want to see your showcases and share them with the world. And that can be speedruns like this, challenge runs, or maybe just a really cool Stardew Valley farm, a cake. We love it all. So get your applications in at your earliest convenience if you would like to be on the Attract Mode stage in January. Then you can be like our performer tonight. So give it up, everyone, for DreamTora and all levels of Nights into Dreams.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting Attract Mode. I am here presenting you one of the best games on the Sega Saturn, Nights into Dreams, which is, I would say, Sega's most beloved franchise. And joining me in commentary is jquestionmark. Jay, if you would like to introduce yourself, tell the audience about yourself.
Hello. Yeah, I also speedrun this game on rare occasion. Has been a little while, but it's a really, really fun one. So I'm really excited to hopefully provide some commentary while Tora gets to focus on this really fun run.
Alright, so to explain a little bit what I'm going to be doing is, you see all the 4 levels or 4 icons on the screen. Those are all the levels that you can play throughout this game. I am only going to be playing 7 of them, because when you finish the first 3 of each of Elliot and Claris's levels, you unlock their final level, which is Twin Seeds, but you only need to complete Twin Seeds in all levels. So I'll get that started in a bit here. So timing's going to start as soon as I choose this first level, which is Spring Valley, and I will be beginning in 3, 2, 1, go. So Spring Valley is probably one of the simplest levels of this game. It's kind of like your introductory level, as it were.
Yeah, so movement in this game, there are usually very brief times where you play as Claris or Elliot, and the goal is to get to the palace and turn into knights or activate knights. I'm not really sure what the right term is here, but you become knights and start moving around the stage in a very different manner. So Claris and Elliot move in a 3D way. They can jump. Knights is on 2-dimensional tracks that loop through the level. So you can loop through over and over. We already saw Tora on Mare 1 there loop through and grab a bunch of chips and then free the Idea from the Idea capture, and is now freed the second one, is on her way. It goes by really fast, so I'm going to try to cover the basics of how the game works as quick as possible, but I apologize, I'm going to be rambling on. So each mare, of which there are 4 per dream, contains a Idea capture that you need to open up with 20 of the blue chips. So once you get all 20, you can break it open, get the Idea, and go back. The game is really meant to be a sort of arcadey score attack type game, so you get ranked on how many points you get. The faster you open the Idea capture, the more points you get grabbing things afterwards. But in the speedrun, That's completely irrelevant. The idea is you go grab the Idea, get back to the palace, and move on to the next mare as quickly as possible. So, some more technical stuff. In the bottom left, there is that green bar. I am sure there is some sort of official term, but I refer to it as boost juice, or just boost. You can hold down A, B, or C to activate Knight's boost, which makes Knights go really fast, but makes turning a lot harder. The movement is really smooth in this game. It takes a little getting used to, because you kind of float around. The best example I can think of is almost Echo the Dolphin. Yeah, when boosting, you can't turn as easily. So here we are on Gilwing. Gilwing is an interesting boss in the speedrun, because the intended, quote-unquote, method for defeating Gilwing is to grab Gilwing's head and dash and bop him over and over. But the trigger for defeating Gilwing is to destroy the last segment of Gilwing's tail. So if you do that with a paraloop, you win very quickly.
So real quick here, I'm going to be holding down A, B, C, and start until this ranking die oh, I might have done it held it too late.
Okay. Oh, nope. Oh, it did, yeah.
It brought me back to level. So there is a weird timing with that. You're supposed to hold down A, B, C, and start, and wait until like the die disappears after it gives you the grade. What that does is it lets you soft reset back to the title screen, which makes it much faster, because if you just progress through the end as normal past that screen, you'll end up seeing like the rankings plus like a tutorial screen, and that wastes a little bit of time, so we like to try and avoid that as much as possible. Now we're on to Mystic Forest. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Mystic Forest is a fun one. Similar to the very first mare of the prior stage, it's necessary to do the loop a couple of times rather than just immediately popping the capture open. And here's the first time, but definitely not the last, we see going backwards. Because all of these are loops, it's possible to go back to get back to the palace. From a mechanical standpoint, if you're not trying to grab any of the same chips, it doesn't matter, you can just go back and get on your way. If you do need to grab some of those chips, you need to go forwards so it resets. So the things that exist in the level only reset if you come into the palace from the right direction. Or I guess the left, from the correct direction. Some of these, such as the mare that's being done right now, Mare 3, are best done backwards. You can get all the chips you need on this one by going backwards, getting to the capture. Well, you have to grab a couple just past the capture, and then clearing it and heading backwards all the way to the start of the mare again. Yeah, the Idea captures, I guess that's another thing worth talking about, will grab you and suck you in if you get too close to them. So the goal is to not touch them if you don't have enough chips yet, and go get some more, or go straight to them if you've got enough. But they are very sticky, so they can be really hard to avoid if you don't manage to get high enough over them or down below under them. They'll kind of adjust themselves up or down within the 2D area that you're in to try to make it easier for you. Which is great, except when that's not what you want yet.
So here comes the best section. There's a little car below me, and you can lead the car to the garage for an achievement, but we don't usually try to do it, but sometimes it'll happen unintended. Unfortunately, I did not get it, so no park the car %. And with that, we're already on to our second boss, Gopo. Gopo is an interesting boss in that Like, to get a good cycle on him is a little bit rough. So basically you just have to grab these fishies and rocket them into him. And he's in a really weird spot. So, a little thing about Gopo as well is, he takes more damage if he is upside down as you hit him.
Yeah, this one is really tricky to do fast because Gopo's... Oh,
yeah,
nice.
91 Gopo is pretty decent.
Yeah, Gopo bounces around. I don't want to say randomly, because that's not true, but the timing is so precise that getting to the right fish at the right times and hitting Gopo exactly where you want is not something that anyone I know has ever been able to do intentionally and consistently. It's always a little bit funky, so you gotta just kind of roll with it. But that was a really good Gopo.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best Gopos, all things considered. Let's see if I got that one correct.
I can't remember if you do that too early, does it reset? Oh, it does.
That sucks. So sometimes if you do it incorrectly, you get booted back to the BIOS, which is unfortunate, but I haven't done this.
It does.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it does at least save your progress.
It does, yeah. So you don't.
It's a small time loss as opposed to an apocalyptic one.
But yeah, I was gonna say I haven't done this in quite a long time, so like that kind of stuff is going to happen. So now we're on to the third level of Claris's level, and that's Soft Museum. This is going to be the first interesting one, because we're going to be starting the first mare on foot.
Yep. This is a cool one. You go and gather everything up on foot, get to the capture, and then head back. And I don't remember if you adjust your camera or not. I always just leave it static, but it gets kind of weird.
I always adjust the camera because it's easier for me that way.
Yeah, so it is possible to grab all the chips you need to open up the capture and get the Idea and take it back to the palace for the very first mare. The only way to get back on foot once you've become knights the first time is to run out of time. So you'll notice once Tora gets back to the palace and it starts the second mare, there's going to be a timer up in the top middle counting down from 120. Things are bad if you take a whole 120 on one of the mares.
Yeah, if you noticed while I was on foot, there was an alarm clock creature that spawned. That creature, if it catches you, it's game over. So.
Yep, kicks you straight out of the stage no matter how much progress you have or haven't made. As long as you keep moving, it's usually pretty easy to stay away from. So there are a few places where there's circles of stuff, and by performing a paraloop, which is a mechanic I have somehow completely forgotten to talk about, but it's very important in just a second here. By performing a paraloop, you can gather up a bunch of things, and it can activate hidden things in the background. So what Tora's doing right now is trying to grab some chips that are way, way out of the way. So the size and location and shape of your paraloop determines how far it reaches. So Tora just grabbed a bunch of stuff that is way off screen.
I forgot to
Yep.
So I was perfectly fine, just I forgot to get the cage beforehand. But yeah, that's basically what because normally you would have to do this big ol' auto-scroller type thing, and it just wastes a whole lot of time, so we do that little large paraloop to skip that. I'm a little wary of my boost right now because I definitely need to preserve it for the boss of this level.
Yeah, this boss is absolutely miserable without boost.
In fact, he's like borderline impossible without boost, so I try to hope the lion got in the way.
Yeah, when you're fully out of boost, you can tap A, B, or C to get a very, very brief, quick little dash, but it doesn't really help with Jackal. So Jackal has a deck of cards and throws them at you as you approach. Once you get Jackal once, it's usually possible to stay on top of them and keep them from getting back to their cape and throwing cards again.
Oh, are you serious right now?
No.
He is being a jerk.
Yeah, the dodging his cards is a really... Like, they track to you, so it's really tough to
And I'm
avoid.
all out of boost. Crap. This is gonna be really terrible.
Yeah, without any boost, getting to him after that last card is tough. Oh, no. Nice.
Oh, I lost track of him. Dang it.
Yeah, so Jackal, in a perfect world, goes flying far away from the cape, but depending on the angle you're facing, the direction you're at, you push him directly away, and he can bounce right back to his cape.
This is really bad. I might end up having to redo, Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad.
Yeah, Jackal is one of those rough ones. It can be a reset point.
Yep.
Dang.
I tried my best to beat that, despite, like, me not having any boost, but it's really an unwinnable situation overall. But that's not a big deal, because this level is pretty easy to get through again. Having to repeat levels is no big deal.
It's not too bad. The huge skip that skips the auto-scroller on Mare 4, especially... Or, sorry, Mare 3.
Yeah, Mare 3, yeah.
Especially makes it a lot faster than it would be otherwise. And Tora was going for all the speed, boosting at the right times, trying to go fast, which eats up that boost, and sometimes it goes poorly.
That's the only downside of using that boost to go fast is it drains very quickly. And I think I kind of, like, messed myself up by forgetting to get the cage before doing that skip. Cause,
the boost over to it. Yeah. So there are these little orange rings, and then also the yellow sort of ring gates that are two segments connected together.
Oh.
They do refill a tiny bit of boost, but it's pretty insignificant. It's not really... It's not enough that's going to save you if things go really wrong on the Mare 3 skip, or if you wind up using up a bit more than you expected.
Yeah. I still try to go through them as much as possible, like, just to try to preserve as much boost as possible.
Yeah, so when you go through them, the game keeps track of how many things you do, so how many things you picked up, or how many hoops you've flown through, and it gives you a link. So you'll see pop up on the bottom center every once in a while, 7-link or 2-link, or I think one of the longer links winds up happening in Frozen Bell later on. Not necessarily, but it can. The links are a big part of score attacking because your score goes up as your link goes up, so you want to get it as high as you can and keep it as high as you can for as long as you can. Again, in the speedrun, it doesn't really matter. You just want to go fast and get all the chips, keep on moving. The circles are only really handy for that tiny bit of boost refill. So the more you can grab on the way, the better, but...
Yeah, Jay here is actually, you actually started out doing, score attacks on nights, didn't you?
Yeah, I score attacked on a friend's website back in the day. I think it was actually just scoreattack.net. It was a long time ago. Met my wonderful partner through a Nights into Dreams message board. So I've been playing the game on and off for quite a while. The score attacking's fun. It's honestly a really, really good time, but it a very different feel, because a lot of it's similar. You want to get to where you're going as fast as possible, but once you get there, you want to take
101
as long as
Jackle, let's
possible.
go.
Oh, nice.
Let's go. That's more like it.
2.0.
So that's how Jackal is supposed to go on best case scenario. Like, he wanted to get his cape very badly, but I was like, nope. Not today.
Yeah, that's a 2.0 score on Jackal is fantastic. That 2.0 is a score multiplier, so again, score attack, you want to get lots of points, you got to beat the boss really fast to get the points.
Now we're on to Elliot's level, starting with Splash Garden. I almost forgot the name of it. Splash Garden's another
Elliot...
one we're going to be starting on foot.
Yep, there's the on-foot segment, and then it's this one that has the other auto-scroller skip, doesn't it?
Yes.
Cool.
It's on Mare 4, I believe.
Yep.
So
this one's a fun stage.
Yep, this stage is actually probably one of my favorites. Both speedrun-wise and casually.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. The auto-scroller is very cute. It's a shame we don't get to see it, because Knights turns into a mermaid. But
yep.
All of you should go play this game and check it out. So yeah, Mare 1 already done. Just done real quick on foot. The routing for this game is a lot of fun, because it's all about what chips can you grab, what order can you grab them in. Just make it real speedy, get everything possible. Right on the way to the palace, or the Idea capture, and then straight back to the palace. And sometimes you wind up with some pretty weird directions, or you have to do paraloops in certain spots to grab stuff. There's another big, almost skip of a sort paraloop in this one.
So normally you're supposed to go backwards after getting that, getting this Idea, but I have to get this boost for personal reasons, because the boss of this level is like impossible if you run out of boost, and I do have a tendency to run out of boost juice.
When I speedrun, that was beautiful. That was a fantastic skip. So that captured 11 chips in a single quick swoop. When I run this game, I play Elliot first, because I am in a similar boat. If things go wrong on the boss for this stage, it's over. There's no recovering.
Yeah, Tigerian makes a good point. If you do plan on playing this on Saturn, play it with the 3D pad. Do not try to play it with the regular Saturn pad, or else you'll be having a bad time.
Yeah, if you can play it on Saturn, highly recommend. It's really good. The physics are a little different. So this game got a re-release on PlayStation 2, and then another Steam, PC, I think PlayStation as well.
PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah. So those releases, the PS2 one was a separate physics engine. The later PC one was yet another separate physics engine, and it plays mostly right, but not exactly right. If you've played the Saturn one, say, a whole bunch of times because you do speedruns, it feels very wrong to play the PC version. But if you just jump in and play the PC version, it feels great, it's super fun, there is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I actually started out speed running this game on PC, and then once I switched over to Saturn, there was no going back. Because playing the PC version is excruciating after playing the Saturn version.
Yeah, it just feels not quite right. That was a really good Puffy, by the way.
Yeah.
Tripped you up a little at the one
we
point,
didn't even get a chance to explain Puffy, and it was already done. So
yeah, Puffy's a big... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Puffy's one of those bosses where, like, she could go either really good or really wrong. There is no in between.
Yeah, we'll have a chance to talk about it a little more later, perhaps.
Yeah.
So this segment is real fun because it's on foot and then switches to knights because that's the quickest way to get the last bit of the chips.
Yep. So this is the first kind of hybrid type thing where you do a little on foot, a little as knights.
Frozen Bell's a fun one. Frozen Bell also has an auto-scroller, but unlike all of the other auto-scrollers, yeah, there's no skipping it. It's honestly, like, the other ones, there are so many chips, it would be silly to do the auto-scrollers, but this one, the way the stage is designed, it's well worth doing.
Oh yeah. Plus it's one of the quicker auto-scrollers.
Yeah, it's pretty short compared to the others. This stage appears in partial form in Christmas Nights in a bonus mode called Link Attack, because this Mare 2 specifically, you can get an infinite loop. And there's only a few mares in the whole game where you can get an infinite loop going. But there's a handful of spots where you can get links that never break, and you can get the link counter up to, I believe it's 999. It's real satisfying and real fun.
What am I missing?
Down, I think, for the
Down?
box.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I forgot about that.
Yep.
See, that's the other reason I have Jay here, because he remembers certain things better than I do.
Yeah, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't been playing this as much as I should lately, but I'm actually surprised I remembered that one.
And now here's the first and only auto-scroller you'll see, and that is Sled Knights.
Yep. I don't remember. There's some specific number of chips it's necessary to get when coming out of this to make sure you don't have to do it a second.
Good. I think I'm gonna be good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely
you
good.
can grab that set right there. And then there's the two. Nice. Yeah, I am very bad at that auto-scroller. And
whoops! I was supposed to go backwards. My bad.
Oh no.
Oh well, you get to see the sled another time.
Yeah. Mercifully, it is a very short auto-scroller. It's got some boosts to speed it up, so there are much worse auto-scrollers to get drug into in this game.
And now, it's time for the kitty.
So, this boss is wild. It is an arena full of missiles that the boss attempts to launch at you. Once they have been activated, you can dash through them. Prior to them being activated, you can paraloop in front of them and break them. So your paraloop, when it comes to enemies, usually destroys things. This one is particularly tricky because you gotta get it, like the positioning is just brutal. If you don't get it just right, it will not destroy them or you'll grab onto them. It's a real finicky one to try to do.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So Claus usually jumps to the closest one, but if the closest one is too far away, Claus will just hang out there. I was not expecting that.
Also, the fact that he still stayed there even after I destroyed the mouse is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I think I've seen that once or twice, but usually... Yeah, usually Claus has already jumped far away by the time I'm doing anything like that.
And now it's time for our favorite level, Stick Canyon.
So speaking of miserable long auto-scrollers, this one I would say probably puts at least the second one puts the Soft Museum auto-scroller to shame. There are two auto-scrollers in this. Oh, did you miss?
I tried to do the cactus jump. I could never get that consistently.
It's got to be so precise. You have to hold down just the right amount of time.
Whoops.
So the first auto-scroller is long and unpleasant and unnecessary. There's places to grab enough chips to avoid it. The second auto-scroller contains not only a really long auto-scroller, but the first auto-scroller within itself. So you really, really do not want to do the second auto-scroller.
Yeah, the second one is the one you definitely do not want to do because it's really long and you run out of time while on it. And when you run out of time while on it, it's a bad time.
Yeah. You turn back into the kid, you drop all your chips on the ground. It's at the top of a tall tower, so you just barely get there in time.
Now time for the...
So, yeah, the first one, you have to very carefully not touch the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never boost through there either. It's so scary.
Yeah, because the hitbox for that particular auto-scroller, that grate, like, is bigger than you think it is, and all you have to do is get, like, within, like, a teeny bit of it, and it'll, like, drag you onto it. It's terrible.
Yep. It's very happy to just grab you and ruin your day.
It's like, you don't want to do the auto-scroller? Are you sure? Oh, and this level is also the level with our good friends, the Cuddles.
Yeah, the Cuddles are very bad. They are a little green monster with a triangle-shaped sparkly thing, and they will suck up all of your boost.
Yeah,
and the boss after this level is... You know, I keep talking about how the bosses are miserable without boost. They're all miserable without boost.
The only one that doesn't really matter without boost is Gopo, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, now
so here's the tower.
The Tower of Terror, as I like to call it.
Yep, there's a lot of spots with falling rocks, Cuddles that you can accidentally run into. You have to make sure to grab enough chips on the way up so that when you get to the top, you can open the capture and then turn back down and go back down, which is not the intended route, but works great. And right next to the capture is the grate that will grab you and yank you down.
Yeah, thankfully it's far enough away that you can't, like, accidentally run into it unless you went way past it. And this is the harder part because the camera wants to fight you really bad on wanting to go back down this thing.
The camera's trying to help. It's like, oh, you're going up the tower. You just gotta look this way, right? But that's not what's going on. So
I hatched a Nighttopian. It happened.
Yeah, so... Oh, we haven't talked about the A-life system at all.
Nope.
There's an artificial life system in this game, and how happy your peons are changes the music in every stage. And there's a huge gradient of what the music can sound like in every single stage. It's really cool. Hatching peons and letting them just kind of do their thing makes them happy. Accidentally murdering them with paraloops, unsurprisingly, makes them unhappy. So, it's good start to this Riala here.
Where are you going, Riala? There you are. That was a really good Riala.
Oh, that was
nice. My
nice.
Goodness.
Riala is Evil Knights and can do the same things you do, so Riala tries to paraloop you and avoid your paraloops. Yeah, A-Life, Artificial Life.
Which is the same system that they use for the Chow in Sonic.
Yep, the peons will have a great time. If you get enough peons, a king peon will spawn and build a really weird-looking palace. It's very cool. It's pretty... I don't know what causes it. They just kind of do their own thing, and it's fun to watch, but...
Oh, I didn't mean to do Elliot's Twin Seeds. So... I have an unfortunate thing with my particular disc of Knights, actually. I'm gonna start over because, as good as Elliot's ending is, unfortunately my particular disc, freezes on Elliot's ending, so we're gonna be doing Claris's ending, which I promise you Claris's ending is really good as well, so it'll be worth it. So now we're on to Twin Seeds, the final level, which is unusual because this is going to be the one level we're not going to be using Knights, but the actual kids themselves.
You play as the kids, and very interestingly, when you loop a mare, the chips don't reset. So you have to make sure you grab all the chips you need, because I think most of the mares only have a couple extras. If any extras.
I missed some somewhere.
I think, I'm trying to remember,
Oh, here
is
they
it
are.
low then high? Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah, the positioning on these is a little weird. The kids also have sort of a gravity to them that Knights doesn't, so they will draw the chips into them, even if they don't hit them exactly, whereas Knights has to run right over the chip.
Ugh.
Did you?
Usually I get through those spikes pretty good, well, but like that time I messed up.
Yeah, this stage, it's just a really good kind of final test for the player. You get a much longer timer than normal, but you have to finish it all in a single timer. And you'll notice Tora braked really abruptly there and then went backwards. Some of these mares are backwards too, because it's the fastest way. Tora also did a trick that really only comes up here, I think, which is the L and R air brake. So you can really abruptly brake your character and just bring him to a dead stop by tapping L and R. And of course, in a speedrun, you don't usually want to stop. But when you want to turn around all of a sudden without having to slowly and elegantly loop.
Okay, so flashing lights warning, by the way. I think this has a lot of flashing lights anyway, or flashing graphics.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So
all the
this is
stuff cutting in and
So
out.
we're gonna be on to our final boss of the game, Wizeman.
How's your boost looking, by the way? I wasn't paying.
It's about half-ish, probably a little less than the half. I think I might be good
That's not bad.
I might be good as long as I don't like get stuck on one of the phases.
So this is Wizeman. There are 4 phases. Every once in a while, for no particular reason, Wizeman will go back a phase instead of going forward. But essentially, the phases come down to Wizeman generates some sort of hazard. You have to get to Wizeman. You have to wait for your buddy to catch up, because there is Claris Knights and Elliot Knight. And both of you are needed to break through Wizeman's shield. Then once you do, you bop Wizeman and loop back around.
Okay, I'm gonna need to preserve this tiny bit of boost I have left for the tornadoes.
The other phases, it's possible to get through without boost, but the tornado you have to dash right through the middle. Nice. So if you go too high or too low, it's a problem, and if you're not dashing when you pass through, it's a problem.
Alright. So the boss is done, but time does not stop until it fades to white and shows Knights. So I will let you know when time is. And time. And that is Nights into Dreams all levels. And we get to enjoy this lovely ending with Claris going to a singing audition, because we never really explained the story of these two kids. So,
both of them have nightmares and fears. You know it better than I do. Sorry.
Yeah, so basically, the story is Elliot and Claris, Elliot being the blue-haired kid and Claris being the pink-haired girl you see here. So Claris's nightmare was that she wants to audition for the part of a singing role for a play or some like performance that's coming up, and she has a nightmare about like all the directors laughing at her. But now that she's cleared the nightmare, she does an audition and just floors all of these directors. And as for Elliot, actually, I'm gonna just let this play out quick before we explain Elliot's. Elliot just wants to dunk on some kids, yeah. So Elliot's story is that he plays basketball, and he is wanting to be a really good basketball player. And his nightmare was that he gets beaten by the other team and humiliated. But in his ending, he takes the basketball and dunks it through the hoop, and the opposing team is all impressed, like, whoa, look at this guy. So we affectionately like to call Elliot's ending the dunk on these losers ending. And the credits music here, is dependent on, like the music you usually get for the ending is the kids singing Dream Dreams, which is a really good song. But you only can hear the adult version if you get all A ranks, which is kind of unfortunate because when you've been speedrunning this game a lot, you kind of get a little tired of hearing kids singing this over and over.
Yeah, it's very cute, but after the millionth time, it's a little rough.
Yep. Oh no, Yuji Naka. Thank you for the GGs,
Yuji
everyone.
Naka's been busy lately.
Yeah, no kidding. But back in his heyday, he was a really brilliant mind.
Like this game, and it's really hard to sort of explain this game to people. I picked it up for a friend on Steam a few years ago, and they played it once and came to me and were like, I don't know what to do. Nothing makes any sense. And it really is very much its own thing, but once you get it down, it is so much fun. Movement is just an absolute joy. It's a really, really fun experience, be it a casual play or a score attack or a speed run. It's a great time. But there's nothing else out there like it, and it's a shame. I guess except for Christmas nights, but does that count? Do expansion packs / demo discs count?
I would say it does. And speaking of Christmas nights, please stay tuned, because I am going to be playing that in just a bit.